Welcome back to the channel. We are going to do something a little different today. It is December the 5th and it is 60 degrees and sunny. That is a very odd thing for this time of year for us. We get a few like this, but we got an opportunity to work in a yard. I'm going to show you a few new things. Now, you guys have seen in the past, you've seen the wood chipper here. Let's see if I can do this. My wife also has a very bad cold, so the camera work will probably suck today because she normally does the camera work. But here's the wood chipper. We're going to get out and do some wood chipping with a wood chipper, and then we're going to get out our new Echo chainsaw. I wore my hat I got when I bought it. So you guys come along for the ride.
Tony's Tractor Adventure.
All right, I got this BX wood. It's a BX42S wood chipper. I got this from Titan Attachments online. I think they call it palletforks.com or something like that, but it's Titan Attachments if you look it up. And so far I've been pretty pleased with this. This is something I do each time I use it, though. These bearings are pretty, take a lot of abuse, so I hit them with a couple of squirts of good quality grease every time that I use it, and I think that's going to make it last a lot longer. So that's another example of that lock and loop, how easy that works. It's a lot easier than the regular grease guns. Let's get this thing greased up and we'll get it out here and get it started. All right, this wood chipper has 3 grease fittings. It's really important. It's the one on the back I just greased, and it has one on the front which is identical. So I'll hit that one a couple shots. All right, and then there's another one that's really important here. This tractor, or this attachment, implement, I guess is the right word, doesn't have a slip clutch, so it has a shear bolt right here. So there's a little grease fitting right here that you need to grease every time, just a couple, like a single shot. And basically what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to keep this piece in the front from ever seizing and rusting up to the piece in the back. So what happens is, if you hit something really hard, instead of transferring all that torque up the PTO shaft to your tractor and possibly breaking your tractor, it breaks this shear bolt here, and because this is greased, it lets it spin here and not damage the tractor. This is the new tool I got. I got the Echo. Let me show you. I'm so excited about this. This is the Timberwolf CS590. It's got a 20-inch bar on it, and it's never even been started. Now, in the past, I have been primarily a steel guy, but my LS tractor dealer, Bob Brewer, he swears by Echo, and I'm gonna be honest with you, he twisted my arm to buy this. He's like, if you're gonna buy a new chainsaw, buy this. So I said, okay, I'm gonna take you at your word. Bob's never let me wrong. So we're gonna get this thing fueled up and put some oil in it, and we're gonna go cut some stuff up and chip it up. And every day, man gets a new chainsaw. Rotate this around here. Shows the fuel goes in the back here. Now, I mixed this up the other day, and this has got the Echo synthetic oil in it. And this is what Bob recommended. And there again, he was very adamant about that. So I get that oil, and this saw will last you pretty much forever. My old Poland Pro that I bought a while back, I think I told you guys that story. Bought I had a nice steel, big steel. It's been around. I had it for years. It was an 034 and all, or maybe it's 036. I can't remember. Big chainsaw. We used to burn a lot of firewood, and I left it out on the porch one day and went to town. I come back and somebody had relieved me of it. And I thought that was pretty nice of them. And so at the moment, it was at the end of the season, and I just grabbed a little old couple $100 Poland Pro, 20-inch, I think it was. Those things tight. No sense in it being that tight. Let's see if we can get that out. Come on now. There it goes. That's a little bit too much. But anyway, we got that. Got that little Poland Pro, I think it's like a 55cc Poland Pro with a 20-inch bar, and I thought, well, if it'll just last me through the end of the winter, or into the cutting season, I said that'd be fine. And you know, that saw was going on 7 years, and I can go in there right now and that dude will still run. Now, it's cantankerous for sure, but it'll still run. But it's time for a new saw. We're getting ready. We bought that new property, and it's going to take a lot of work, and it's got lots of trees on it. And the property was cut maybe about 10 years ago, and it's kind of left everything down. So we're going to clean it all up and see if we can do something with it. All right, let's see if we can get this thing started. I was looking over the manual, and it shows that to crank it up, make sure that the let's see, the run start button is on. That's on. Push the decompression valve. Did that. And then pull the choke out. Let's see, pull the choke out. And it says, make sure, I missed this one right here, the first one. It says make sure that the chain brake is on. So now I got the chain brake on. Let's pull it. Let's see, chain brake. Let's push it forward, right? All right, so pushing it forward. And then we'll get see what happens. Uh-oh, got a little kick there. Uh-oh. Pull that choke back out a little bit. As you guys can see in previous videos I've done, I have run dirty a little bit, and some of my videos where I've worked with a chainsaw, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got beat up a lot for not having the proper safety equipment when I'm chainsawing. And I have done this my whole life and never really had the proper safety equipment, even though I've had a couple of close calls where a saw jumped back and grabbed my pants leg and cut my leg pretty good. Even after that, I still didn't do it. So, you know, as my dad says, you can't fix stupid. But I had a conversation with a guy online, and he made me see sense. And he also showed me some pictures of something that had happened to him. And so immediately after that, I ordered this kit. I ordered it off of Amazon. It's not bad. It's not a bad price. I don't even remember what I paid for it. I'll look it up and put a link to it if you're interested in it. Everything comes with the gloves, safety glasses, the helmet, and this helmet has the hearing protection built into it. It's got the screen built into it, and then it's got the chainsaw chaps. And you know, and I got to looking at the price, and for the price versus the safety, it's just not that big a deal, and you know, it's easy to put on. So I'm gonna get this all put on, and we're gonna go over here and start cutting some trees up with this new Echo saw, and we're gonna try the timber wolf out. I'm excited. All right, as I said before, the camera work is probably not going to be as good because I'm doing it. And but this is what we're going to clean up today. This is over in the side yard. When we bought this property, it was growed up. You cannot believe some of the stuff that had grown up here. And we slowly but surely been plucking away at everything and cleaning up. Now, I've got a nice set of grapples that I've got to get plumbed on the LSMT 240. And that would make this so much easier, but I don't have it plumbed yet, and I have a sunny day, so I got to take advantage of our sunny day. But I do have my WorkSaver pallet forks on, and I can reach in here and try to get some of this stuff off and take the stumps around where we're going to burn stumps, and then you know, mulch everything else up, try to cut everything down as small as we can, you know, carry it up here and put it in the tractor. All right, I'm going to be using the LS tractor MT240E, and that's what I'm going to be using today. I used the MT125 on the last go around, and so this time I'm going to use the bigger tractor just to see how it handles with all. This tractor's got a lot more PTO horsepower than the MT125, and the MT125 handled it really well. So, got to say, I think this is going to rip through it. I just put that big old log in it. This thing is set for, it said it will cut a up to 4 by 10 piece of wood in there, and that totally depends upon what kind of wood too. I just sheared the shear pin, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. Piece hung really hard. You'll see it in the video. Piece hung really hard. It broke the shear pin. Instead of taking all that torque and sending it up the PTO shaft to the tractor's transmission, it broke where it was supposed to break, the weak point. Now you can see where the shear pin has broke off here. Let me see if I can pull that dude out. All right, hold the camera real good. That's where you need, my wife does all this. All right, you can see the shear pin here is broke off, and yeah, it did exactly what it's supposed to. Instead of that hard piece of wood transferring all of that torque up through the shaft and maybe damaging the transmission here, it broke that shear pin and spun right here where it was supposed to spin, keeping it from damaging the tractor. And as you can see from the video, I put in, it shows it's rated at 4 inches, and that was 4-inch and some of what we call bodock or iron tree. When you cut it down, sparks fly off of it because it has a high iron content. And I can't remember the exact name, but it's a really hard tree, and it's why it broke. I overloaded this. It's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the wood chipper. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. This is a very simple, low-tech. This boat is a very simple, low-tech safety mechanism. You know, some have different types of, like they'll have a slip clutch here. Some will have some of your really expensive rigs. They'll have like pressure sensors on the hydraulic pressure of the equipment. So this is a very low tech, but all of these years later, it's low tech, but it still works. So let's go ahead and get this thing put together. I may have to take it off. There we go. Now that's a beautiful thing about this, is that it has where you can remove it from the shaft here. So you can literally change this out in just a matter of minutes. Now when you do this, get me a couple of washers here. When you do this, make sure that you put the bolt through going backwards. All right, I'm back now. So what I wanted to do is take this pair of channel locks and rotate this thing back and forth. Let me tighten this up one more click here on the channel lock. So you might want to keep one of these around handy. So we'll move this back and forth based upon lining up this shaft. Let's see here. Oh, I think I passed it. There it went. Alright, that's lined up. Bolts in it. I've got a lock washer here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I'm trying to stay out of the way so you can see a little bit. A lock washer on this end. And then all we're going to do is tighten this dude down. And we're back in business just that quick. Well, I got a couple of good hours of work in. I tried the Echo Timberwolf CS590 out, and honestly, I just can't be any more pleased with the chainsaw. I told you guys in the past that I'm a steel guy, and I still like steel. I know they make a good chainsaw, but Echo has definitely come a long way, and they are, I would say, an equal to steel now. This saw has so much power. It's a perfect ranch saw slash, I'd say, arborist guy. This is a great saw, and Echo's got a really good line of professional saws. I'm not sponsored by Echo, but my dealer, Bob Brewer at Bob's Tractor in McEwen, Tennessee, he's my tractor dealer, and he, like I said earlier, he pretty much twisted my arm. He said, if you're going to buy a new chainsaw, you better buy one for me. And man, I'm so glad I listened to you, Bob. Thanks for that wise education. This Timberwolf is bad to the bone. My wood chipper, wow, done a good job. Other than the shear boat, which that was pretty much me. I just want to see what it would do, and I found out and it did exactly what it's supposed to do. I put a piece of wood in there. It was just a little bit too big, a little bit too hard, and it broke the shear boat just exactly like what it was supposed to do. And I put a new shear boat in. I went through and finished off my first part of this that I cut down. I'm going to take this in steps as I go and clean this fifth row up. And like I said, once I get my grappler put on, gosh, it's going to be so much better. I can go across here and scoop up all of this these roots and stuff that are in the ground, and you can tilt the thing back and use it and just kind of like scoot along and just pick up all this stuff that's been put in the ground over the years, and let the dirt fall through and just keep the roots, and we can carry it off and burn it. So this is a great start here. I take the little MT125, come over here with a bucket, and scoop this up, and we can go put it around the base of the trees or whatever to keep the grass from growing. This will keep grass from growing for several years. And I got smart. I'm learning. Didn't think about this. So today I moved the tractor forward and actually had the wood chipper blowing the wood chips at the tree, so I don't have to move them twice. So it's just things you don't think about if you don't do it every day. You can see the LSMT 240E in the background. It never even knew the wood chipper was back there, even under the heaviest load. As a matter of fact, it snapped the shear boat, and I never even heard the engine change the sound. So for this wood chipper, it's definitely got plenty of power for it. And like I said, never bogged down. With MT125, we used it, and I could hear it bog the engine down. Matter of fact, in one of the videos you see where I choked it down on a big old piece of oak. I had like probably right at a 4-inch piece of dried seasoned oak go in the wood chipper, and it really did bogged the tractor down, and then actually made it shut off. I pulled that same piece of wood out, cranked the tractor right back up, turned it back on, put the same piece of wood back through it, and it went right through it the second time. And but the MT125 seems like it don't have enough power to break the shear boat where this one does. It'll just bog the tractor down. The MT240E, it just went right through that shear boat, and like I said, never even hiccup. But it did exactly what it's supposed to do. You never know what's inside a piece of wood. Over the years, there could be cable that's growed around a tree. You just don't know what's going to be inside there. So it's always better. It's always better to have that shear bolt break versus sending all that torque backwards up through your transmission and tear your transmission and your tractor up. I think it just worked perfectly. So everything today, I'm pretty happy with everything. I think it's going to make a lot of work go a lot easier. Like I said, we get the grappler on the front of the 240E done. I got the grappler. I just got to plumb it in, and once we get that done, I think gosh, we got an awesome forestry. We're gonna be able to carry it over to the new property and clean up all that debris and stuff. I know I'm rambling on, but I'm really excited. Got a lot of cool things going on here. Hey, just last thought. If you like what we're doing, there's a subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, and then there's a little bell. Hit that bell, and it'll give you a notification when we put something new on. God bless and have a great day.